Well, it's a special time in America as families come together to celebrate Thanksgiving. But some have a different message.
I just had to set my first big post-election boundary and say that I am not going to Thanksgiving. It's not in the best interest of my mental health.
You do not need to spend Thanksgiving with your MAGA relatives. You can, in fact, opt out. So this year, I'm doing my own fun Thanksgiving.
I have made the decision for myself and my fiance and our child to skip out on family holidays with my family that voted for Trump.
Can you believe it? There are actually calls to boycott Thanksgiving. If you have people in your family who don't vote the same way as you do, it's completely insane. Someone needs to remind those people that this is a time to give thanks, to spend time with your family. Look, meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris has released her first video since the election with this message to her supporters.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
Look, I agree with Kamala Harris. Yes, you are in control of your life and your choices. And yes, you have the same power as you did before November 5th. But it's a bit tough to take Kamala Harris seriously when this is what we were hearing from her throughout the campaign.
If you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people. He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We were told that Donald Trump was a threat. Women were led to believe that their rights would be taken from them. And of course, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were comparing Donald Trump to the biggest mass murderer in the history of the world. And honestly, why did they do that? Do they really believe Donald Trump is a bit like Hitler? Or was their internal polling so bad they were just going as low as possible, hoping to scare some people into voting for them? Well, it looks like it's the latter. Senior advisors to Kamala Harris's campaign have revealed this week that her campaign was essentially doomed. And despite the polls that went around that had her in the lead, their internal numbers never had Kamala Harris ahead of Donald Trump. Now, commentator Megyn Kelly called this out at the time. This is her post in October, saying their closing message is all about Trump and Hitler, all recycled. Can you imagine how alarming their internal polls are? Well, she was right. And there's growing speculation that people like Megyn Kelly and podcaster Joe Rogan could be given a seat in the White House press briefing room. Donald Trump Jr. revealed that the podcasters might be given some spots over other journalists. We are going to unpack this and much more with our guests in just a moment.